Okay, this video we're gonna do the repair of a LG LS-970 from beginning to end. So hopefully we don't get interrupted. We start with removing the bottom screws. Now removing the back cover. I'm gonna stick your opening tool right here, starting with the bottom. And you're gonna be very careful, because even when the cover is plastic, this is not. That is actually glass, and you don't want to break one of those. So we got it open. Power button fell off, so we'll put it back in place. We'll deal with this when we put it back together. Now we're gonna remove all the screws. Need a small Phillips screwdriver. Get one of these containers. They're really useful. Keep your screws organized. Bottom screws from the speaker bar is removed. Now the shiny screws. Yes, sir. Once you get all the screws removed, I'm gonna remove the battery. You can do it in either order. In fact, it's better if you remove the battery first, but to be honest, nothing's gonna get damaged if you do it in this order. Trying to remove that plastic cover over the battery. Connector, and we did. We don't want to remove it completely. And the last shiny screw, put it here. We open a different container area, and here's the battery connectors. Now we've done this repair several times, so the one thing that we know for sure is that you do not want to damage that battery, and especially these cables on the side. So we are gonna use this tool, cut the plastic tape that holds it. Next to those antenna cables, coaxial cables. And now that the battery is free, now we're gonna stick our tool, and carefully, without bending the battery or cutting it, we're gonna lift it off the phone. gonna use the same tool but without this plastic tape around it, and remove the adhesive from under the battery. And we got to release without too much damage. I see no damage, just a little bit bent, but no biggie. We didn't cut it open or nothing like that. Now the next very sensitive thing is these connectors right here. They're really easy to break, so make sure that when you lift them up softly, and do not put too much stress on the cable itself. Go for the connector. Now that we got this removed, we can go ahead and remove the plastic cover that goes over the logic board. And your bottom speaker. I'm gonna take a pause right here. Continuing with our repair video, we're gonna go ahead and start where we left it, and that's removing the bar, speaker bar. And just like in the other procedures, be careful you don't damage anything. Now that we got both pieces of plastic removed, make sure that cable's out of the way. And this is your LCD and digitizer connector. Lift them up. Remove the headphone jack connector. And go ahead and lift up your logic board. Am I forgetting anything? Nope. Okay, we lift the logic board. The camera, probably we should take it off. And I don't want to break it or nothing like that, so we're going to be very careful. There you go. Camera is disconnected. Now we can lift that logic board. Now that your logic board is lifted, now this is the part that is tedious. Basically what we're gonna have to do is remove all this broken glass. You're gonna start by sticking your prying tool right here, and don't worry about it, we're gonna be replacing everything, so feel free to break the glass out of there. Now that we got this out, it's your broken LCD. This is the part that usually takes the longest. We are gonna clean this up. Depending how long it takes us, we might just skip to the end where we already done cleaning. And actually that's what we will do. We'll stop the video here because there's not too much to explain. Basically you're gonna remove all the broken glass, all the adhesive, and once it's clean we're gonna put new adhesive. So we'll start the video again once we get to that point. Okay, we are done removing all the broken glass and adhesive. Little hint, when you're doing this, if you have a heat gun or a hair dryer handy, probably will be your best friend for this part of the repair. Heat gun will make it really easy to remove that adhesive. Now, I usually use adhesive strips for screen repairs. In this one, I'm gonna try something different, not new. I'm gonna just use regular adhesive, liquid adhesive, to secure the screen in. The drawback is that it's not going to be ready right away to be handled, and we'll have to sit you can't start using your phone right away once it's repaired, because you gotta let that adhesive set. But the good thing is that it's gonna make this part a lot faster, a lot easier. I'm just gonna go ahead and put small amounts of adhesive in the corners, top, and you don't want to cover those sensors that you see in those corners right there. And this should be no issues, just spread it out. You don't want it too thin. And I'm gonna get some on the edges. On the sides. Like I said, you don't want too much, because then, yes, you repair the phone, and yes, that screen is not coming off, but it sure will look really ugly with too much glue. Now that we're done with that, here's your new screen. I'm going to remove this protector right here and go ahead and slide it in to this gap. Make sure that that flex cable is not getting stuck on anything, and your screen is flush. And now we're gonna put napkin to avoid any scratches on any unnecessary scratches on your phone. Now this piece came off. This is your microphone rubber protector, something like that. I'm gonna make sure that it's where it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to be, and then we're gonna put that logic board back in. This is supposed to go in here, this little flap. There's our twisters for that. And it's in there. And now we're gonna put the microphone rubber right where it belongs. Might have to take a look at that logic board. There it is. Now let's get the logic board back in place. Make sure we lift all these connectors. Your camera goes here, your headphones, and your charging port connector, and that these cables are not squished. Now we're gonna press the connectors in place. There's your LCD and your digitizer. Put the antenna cables, and these ones are pretty big, not like other phones, so you can pretty much do it with your fingers, unless you got huge fingers, I guess. One thing that I didn't check if the battery was charged, so after we finish the repair we'll find out if the battery was charged. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and reverse the process. Press everything back into place. Actually, I think the speaker bar goes first, so, and yes it does. So we'll put the speaker bar first, and now it's time to put the screws in. We'll start with the shiny ones. A magnetic screwdriver will be your best friend during any type of repairs. And everything is back in place. Now let's put the screws on the speaker bar on the bottom, then the battery, and then we'll turn it on. Make sure everything works and put the cover back on it. Speaker bar, battery, we're just gonna place it where it goes. Make sure that we don't trap those antenna cables. Like I said, they're really easy to break. And now this is our power switch, so I'll go ahead and press it, and there you go. Screen is working. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up with the battery post connectors. Screws. And cover it. And the swipe works. So we have fixed this phone. Last step. Oh, remember those power buttons and volume buttons, they're a little bit problematic sometimes, so let's make sure that the power button is where it's supposed to be. And we're gonna close it like this, and that definitely is the easiest way. Oh, well, so much for easiest way. Remove that napkin. And watch this be the longest part of the video, putting those power buttons and home buttons in place. There you go. There's the power button. There's the volume button. Sorry, I said home button. I've repaired too many iPhones. And I'm going to start with the side where the power is. Volume is in, power is in, now the bottom. I think we got it done. 2 bottom screws and that's it. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to give us a like on our Facebook or Google Plus page at 254repair.com. Appreciate it.